When your cat sleeps with you, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Most people assume it's simple. The bed is warm. You're warm. End of story. But here's what nobody tells you. That choice, and it is a choice, carries a meaning so layered, so intentional, that most owners go their entire lives without understanding it. And once you do understand it, you'll never look at that sleeping cat the same way again. And hey, if your cat has ever suddenly stopped sleeping with you, don't brush that off. We'll get to that at the very end, and what's really behind it is something most owners wish they'd known sooner. One more thing. Pay attention to where your cat positions themselves on the bed. We'll get to that in point 3. The answer might genuinely change how you read every night you've shared together. But first, let's start at the beginning. 1. It was never just about staying warm. Ever noticed how your cat doesn't just sleep anywhere near you? They choose a spot. Deliberately, every single night. Most people assume it's about body heat. Cats are cold, you're warm. Simple biology. But here's the thing. Researchers studying feral cat colonies found something striking. Cats only share sleep space with cats they would actively defend, not tolerate. Defend. Sleep, for a cat, is their most vulnerable state. In the wild, closing your eyes in the wrong place gets you killed. So, when your cat curls up against you, they've already decided you're worth the risk. They're not thinking about warmth. They're thinking about safety, and they've decided you are it. A 2018 study on feline social behavior confirmed that voluntary co-sleeping between cats and humans mirrors the bonding behavior seen only in deeply trusted feline pairs. That's not convenience. That's a declaration. They're not using your warmth. They're offering you theirs. 2. They're blending their world into yours. Have you ever woken up to find your cat pressing their face directly into your neck, or rubbing their cheek slowly along your arm before settling in? Most people think it's just affection. A little nuzzle. Sweet, but random. It's not random at all. Cats have scent glands in at least 5 places on their body: their cheeks, their chin, their forehead, their paws, their tail base. When they press any of those points against you during sleep, they're doing something ancient and deeply intentional. They're marking you as theirs, not in a possessive way, in a protective way. In the wild, cats only scent blend with members of their own colony, the group they eat with, sleep with, and survive with. When your cat does this to you, they're folding you into that circle. They're saying you belong to their world now. And no, this has nothing to do with territory in the aggressive sense. Researchers studying feline bonding found that scent mixing during rest triggers oxytocin release in the cat, the same bonding chemical that fires between a mother and her newborn. Your cat isn't just comfortable near you. Their brain is chemically reinforcing the bond every single night. The best part is just getting started. Drop your city in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. One owner described noticing that her cat would spend the first few minutes of every night slowly rubbing her face along the owner's shoulder before curling up. She thought it was a quirk. It wasn't. It was a ritual. A nightly renewal of something the cat considered sacred. Think about that for a second, and here's what's worth holding on to. We'll get to this more in point 5 when we talk about what your cat actually rewrote inside themselves to be closer to you. That part is genuinely hard to believe. You're not sharing a bed. You're sharing an identity. 3. The position they sleep in is a message. Where exactly does your cat sleep on the bed? At your feet, pressed against your legs, curled on your chest, right next to your head? Most people think it's just wherever the cat felt like landing. Random comfort-seeking, no deeper meaning. But here's what most people don't realize. Every position is a specific statement. Feline behaviorists have mapped this out, and the closer your cat sleeps to your head, the higher the trust level they're communicating. Here's why. Your head is where you're most vulnerable. It's where your breathing is, where your heartbeat is loudest, through your neck and temples. In the wild, a cat would never expose their own face near a creature they didn't fully trust. So, when they choose to sleep near yours, that's not coincidence. That's the highest clearance they can give. A 2020 study on companion animal sleep proximity found that cats who slept above the owner's waist showed significantly stronger attachment behaviors throughout the day. The position at night predicted the bond during waking hours. Think about that. They're not just sleeping near you, they're showing you exactly how safe you make them feel. In inches. One owner realized she could track her cat's mood by position alone. After a stressful move, the cat dropped from sleeping on her pillow to sleeping at the foot of the bed. 3 weeks later, he was back at her shoulder. She said it felt like watching him slowly trust the world again. This week, try this. Notice exactly where your cat settles every night. Write it down. Do it for 7 days. The pattern will tell you something real about where you two actually stand. And if that position ever suddenly shifts, we'll get to that in point 7. It matters more than you'd think. Every inch closer is a sentence they can't speak. And, hey, if this is already making you see your cat differently, hit that like button and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more people who actually want to understand what their cat is really saying. 4. They think they're your bodyguard. Have you ever noticed which direction your cat faces when they sleep beside you? Most people haven't. It seems irrelevant. They're asleep. You're asleep. Nobody's watching anything. But here's the thing. Your cat is watching. Even while sleeping. Cats are hardwired with something researchers call sentinel behavior. In wild feline groups, certain members sleep lighter than others, positioned to face outward, monitoring for threats, while the more vulnerable members rest deeply. It's an ancient survival mechanism, millions of years old, and your cat just appointed themselves to that role. For you, scientists studying domestic cat sleep patterns found that cats sleeping beside humans spend significantly more time in light sleep, that half-awake, ears-rotating state, than cats sleeping alone. They're not fully resting. They're monitoring. They're on duty. And no, this has nothing to do with them being anxious. It's the opposite. It means they've decided you're worth protecting. They're telling you, __quote _0, __1. Owner noticed her cat always slept facing the bedroom door, every single night without fail. She thought it was just a preference for the view. Then one night, the cat woke her up at 2 a.m., agitated, pacing. She smelled smoke from a neighbor's unit. The cat had been doing his job the whole time. She just hadn't known it. Tonight, try this. Before you fall asleep, watch which direction your cat faces. Stay still. Don't move them. Just observe. What happens next might surprise you. That quiet little body beside you isn't just resting. They're not sleeping with you. They're standing guard over you. 5. They rewrote their own biology for you. Have you ever noticed your cat waiting for you to go to bed? Not just happening to be nearby, actually waiting. Watching the hallway, watching you, following you down the corridor the moment you head toward the bedroom. Most people chalk it up to routine. Cats like routine. Simple as that. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats are crepuscular by nature, hardwired to be most active at dawn and dusk. Not at 11 p.m. when you finally close your laptop. Not at 7 a.m. when your alarm goes off. Their ancient biology was built for a completely different schedule than yours. And yet, they changed it. A 2022 study on feline chronobiology found that domestic cats living closely with humans shift their active and rest cycles by up to 4 hours to align with their owner's sleep schedule. 4 hours, against their own instincts, against millions of years of evolutionary programming. They didn't do it because they had to. There was no survival pressure, no predator forcing the change. They did it because you matter more to them than their own hard wiring. Remember earlier when we talked about scent blending, how your cat folds you into their colony? This is the deeper layer of that. It's not just that they accept you into their world. They're reshaping their world around yours. One owner mentioned she started going to bed an hour earlier during a difficult season of her life. Within 2 weeks, her cat, who had always been a notorious night prowler, was curled up beside her at the new time. No training, no coaxing. He just adjusted. Think about what that actually means. They looked at their own nature. They looked at you, and they chose you, not because it was natural for them, because you were worth it. They bent their own nature. For you. 6. They feel your pain before you name it. Have you ever had one of those days where nothing catastrophic happened? But something felt heavy? You didn't cry. You didn't say anything. You just carried it quietly into the evening, and your cat wouldn't leave your side. Most people explain this away. They could tell I was home more. I was moving slower. They just wanted attention. But here's the thing. It wasn't coincidence, and it wasn't about attention. Cats can detect changes in your cortisol levels, your body's primary stress chemical, through scent alone. Before you've consciously registered that you're stressed, before you've named it, before you've even sat down. Researchers studying human-animal stress response found that cats adjust their proximity and behavior in direct response to their owner's physiological state. Not their mood, their actual body chemistry. They don't know why you're hurting, but they know something's off. And they move toward it. And no, this has nothing to do with them seeking warmth or food. This is older than that. This is a survival mechanism. The ability to read a companion's internal state through invisible signals, redirected entirely toward you. They're telling you, I don't need you to explain it. I already know. One woman described the night she got news that changed her life. She sat on the edge of the bed, completely still, not crying. Her cat, who typically slept at her feet, climbed slowly up to her chest and pressed his forehead against her chin. He stayed there for 2 hours. She said it was the only thing that helped. This week, try this. On a hard day, don't seek your cat out. Just sit quietly in a room where they can find you. Stay still. Don't call them over. What happens next might surprise you. Remember when we talked about your cat folding you into their colony? This is what that really means in practice. They don't wait for you to break down. They show up before you do. 7. When they suddenly stop sleeping with you, listen closely. Remember the open loop from the very beginning? The one I told you not to ignore? This is it. Have you ever had your cat suddenly stop coming to bed? No warning, no obvious reason. They just don't show up anymore. Or they settle somewhere across the room instead of beside you. Most people assume it's mood. Quote 5, quote 6, quote 7. Please don't leave it at that. Here's what's really happening. There are 2 reasons a cat withdraws from co-sleeping, and both of them matter. The first is physical. Cats are masters at hiding pain. It's an ancient survival instinct. Showing weakness in the wild gets you killed. So, when something hurts, a joint, a muscle, the effort of jumping, they don't cry out. They just quietly stop doing the thing that causes discomfort. If your cat suddenly stops coming to bed and the bed requires a jump, that absence might be the only signal they can give you. The second reason is harder to explain, but researchers studying feline behavior have documented cases where cats withdraw proximity during periods when their owner's health was quietly, unknowingly declining. Not dramatically, just something shifting beneath the surface. The cat detected it and didn't know what to do with that information except retreat into a kind of stillness. They don't have words. They don't have a way to tell you. So sometimes the withdrawal is the message. Think about that for a second. When your cat stops sleeping with you, it's not rejection, it's communication. The same devotion that brought them to your side every night is still there. They just ran out of ways to show it. All those nights they chose you. The warmth, the guard duty, the scent blending, the schedule they rewrote, none of that disappears. It just goes quiet. That nightly ritual was never small to them,